How could Dark Phoenix connect to the MCU? If a crossover were to happen, the X-Men universe indeed does have more precedence for that sort of thing than the MCU does. And the Dark Phoenix storyline, typically associated with big-scale cosmic happenings as it is, could indeed be the ideal place for it to play out. Maybe not as part of the main story, but it's not too hard to imagine a "where are we now?" or "who are these guys?" whole new world stinger in the vein of Wolverine waking up in the alternate happy ending future at the climax of Days of Future Past. What it would likely require is a mechanism within the plot to make it happen, even if only as a handwave indicating that a change has occurred. Remember, while it's plausible for both Fox and Disney to have made tentative plans about this, it wouldn't necessarily take long-term planning. Captain America: Civil War went into production not knowing whether or not they'd be allowed to follow through on what turned out to a scene-stealing crossover debut for Spider-Man. One such mechanism could be the aforementioned comedic mutant Deadpool, whose ill-defined awareness of his own fictional existence and the malleability thereof in his debut feature. He asks two X-Men who've come to collect him whether Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy will be playing Professor X when he meets him, was already used to, unofficially, drop a decommissioned SHIELD helicarrier into the backdrop of a major action sequence as an Easter egg for fans. If Fox and Marvel were jointly interested in ripping off the bandage as quickly as possible, a brief single scene "we're here now, deal with it" joke from the Merc with a mouth could conceivably be the best way to get it over with. There's also, of course, the prospect of the Phoenix itself acting as that sort of catalyst in the likely event that such a change to the franchise is deemed to deserve a more serious introduction. But while the Phoenix Force has been used to cause and undo all manner of havoc in the Marvel Universe over the years, changing the very nature of reality hasn't generally been among its abilities. On the other hand, some of the cryptic plot details being slowly revealed in relation to the film could be setting up the presence for the infamous 1990s X-Men nemesis Onslaught, a psionic entity combining the minds of Professor X and Magneto, and as longtime Marvel readers already know, Onslaught is chiefly associated with stories about creating new realities. The storyline that introduced him was used to briefly fling the Fantastic Four and Avengers into new alternate universe existences for the Heroes Reborn event. Avengers Infinity War X-Men will X-Men Dark Phoenix crossover with the MCU. As such, there'd be an ironic dimension to his film incarnation performing the opposite function in getting the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After all, we still don't know what the fourth installment of the Avengers is actually going to be about, and an incursion by a whole other collection of super characters could potentially be the only event big enough to follow the conflict with Thanos that will have played out 1 year earlier in Infinity War. One way or another, such a bridging event between the MCU and the X-Men appears to be coming soon. The only question is how.